Clock from Seebach by Clint Lowe. The cuckoo clock derived from the remote village of Seebach, nestled in the Black Forest in the state of Baden-Württemberg in southwestern Germany. It supposedly made people smarter, make you a wise King Solomon so you could solve any riddle or question or conundrum. My predicament threatened to have me tossed to the streets. Again this autumn morning, my classroom rattled with the incessant, mindless chatter of second graders, accompanied by the sounds of screaming laughter and the textured aroma of boys sneaking pre-lunch nibbles of cheese sandwiches, all of it enough to transform a young woman's blonde hair into a grandma grey. My dire predicament wasn't because my students were all bad. It was because I was going to lose my job because their grades were all bad. The Board of Education had given me until year's end for my students' test scores to rise. To make that task near impossible, these children were the least intelligent, outright dumbest, entirely the daftest in all Michigan. No doubt about it. They would never comprehend my scribbled solutions on the chalkboard. They could barely read a nursery rhyme, couldn't write a basic noun and verb sentence. Plums explode. That would do. And thus, let me just add, there was more chance for all of them beating LeBron James in a slam dunk contest than convincing them that 11-7 was not a real number. I began trying so many things to get them to learn. Discipline was the first mechanism on my list. Usually I'd allow them to be tossing paper planes, trying to hook ribbons on the ceiling fans, playing Tetris on their phones, well, perhaps a modern version of a similar thing. But this time, as soon as anyone played up, I sent them to the principal's office. How's that? Well, actually that failed. This is where you add a crying emoji. Then I even attempted giving them a ladder of books to read while I tended to my nails. Hello? Utter failure. With my job in peril, the fourth grade teacher, my best friend, actually she wanted to be my best friend, Cynthia Handel, informed me of the special clock. I ordered it without ado. The cuckoo clock heralded the craftsmanship of the traditional chalet style, and looked cute as heck hanging upon the classroom wall. The wooden timepiece was weight-driven, the two weights of cast iron in pine cone shapes dangling below. Intricately carved leaves and birds adorned the gorgeous body, the A-frame rooftop embellished with an all-seeing eagle. The children only had to follow the instructions. Approach the clock and call out, "Cuckoo!" And after the bird blasts from the trapdoor and sings and retreats, the hands will spin and land upon a time. Then announce the time. So easy. You'd think, right? Riley McKinnon was the first to approach the praiseworthy clock. His short figure had him pointing his freckly nose upward, adding a slight retracting swirl to his voluminous bowl haircut that rivaled any do from the Brady Bunch. He was biting his lip and clutching his hand so tight it appeared he was trying to strangle a viper. After instructing the nervous lad on the procedure, I said, "Go on, call to the bird." "Cuckoo!" He blasted like a fire engine. Out shot the bird. It proudly brandished its slender slate-grey body with its pinkish buff to the barring and neck sides, flapping its wings in a grand reveal of the chestnut-barred underfeathers. Then it opened its beak and twittered a gallant, "Cuckoo! Cuckoo!" The bird then snuck back inside the hollow and the hands on the clock spun and spun. Riley's head tumbled around watching it, till the short hand stopped at the 3 and the long hand at the 6. Riley stood trembling, as if cornered by bullies. A bit of sweat dripped off his forehead and he suddenly shouted out, 5 o'clock! My head spanked onto the desk and I muttered, 3:30. The cool autumn morning continued on like this, drearily shifting through a dozen students, and none could tell the blooming time and had to explain to each and every child what times their hands produced. And then slowly, ever so incrementally with each call from the cuckoo, the solution to my predicament started to tick-tock through my mind. Due to my telling of the times, the beautifully carved clock had been bestowing me all its wisdom. The answers seemed to trickle out from the beak of the bird and infiltrate my ears until my brain became a soft tissue machine of knowledge and wisdom. The class of children suddenly seemed oh so simple to teach, so incredibly easy to explain things to instruct and make smart, shrewd and clever. Their superior grades at year's end would ensure the safety of my job. My lovely students sat amongst the crookedly aligned chairs, throwing paper planes and pencils and whispering into ears and the like. I took a deep breath, smiling as of a mother with a newborn. All that would be required was to offer them more of my time.